Ryan, update on the NCDA.
Chair, Commissioners, the NTDA at the last meeting voted to close out operations effective January 1st, 2017. So at this time, we are currently working with the 4 counties to draw the master fund agreement. As you guys may remember, when Tom and I went to the meeting last month, at this time, the NTDA actually they voted to close the NTDA effective January 2017. So at this point, we'll have a master fund agreement with each one of the 4 counties that we're going to operate in starting January 2017. We're still on par to get 3 North Star Link buses, where Stearns would be picking up the tab for the first 3 buses, and the next 2 will still be Sherburne, but we haven't received a green light from Minn as of yet. But once we receive the green light, then we'll probably start the paperwork January 2017.
So they're individual contracts, not a joint powers agreement between the...
Well, Stearns and Sherburne, there'll be a joint powers agreement, but with the 4 counties like Anoka, Hennepin, we have to have an agreement with each one of the 4 counties.
Individually.
Right.
Okay, well,
There'll be a...
make sure it works.
Yeah, there'll be a master agreement that all 4 counties will agree to. And that,
So there's
that
a
will
joint
be
powers agreement overall.
essentially kind of acts like a joint powers agreement, but that will tie them to a 5-year commitment to operate North Star Link. And then annually, we will have an agreement with each of the counties individually, is what they're requiring. So their tie is going to be the master agreement, which will commit them to the 5 years, and then each year annually we'll do a separate agreement with each county. It's not to say that one of the counties gets a burr under the saddle and decides they want out of North Star Link, they can pull out. I get the sense, though, that they're all willing to commit to keep North Star Link going. The 2 wild cards really were Anoka and Hennepin in this endeavor to keep the link service operational, and I think we've satisfied their concerns and come up with a dollar value that they're willing to put forth. And frankly, with the enormous budgets those 2 counties have and the amount of money we need for North Star Link, it's peanuts. They probably lose it in rounding. But the reality is they're doing it on principle, and they took a stand, and they feel that they got their train. They don't need anything else, and they don't feel that North Star Link contributes a lot to their county, even though we do contribute to North Star rail service. We bring those passengers into Big Lake and contribute to their success. So, we've got a good partner in Sherburne County and Stearns to kind of help carry that message for us. We've relied on them. Steve Taylor, the Sherburne County administrator, really has helped take the lead and has done a nice job. They kind of appointed him executive director of the NCDA, even though the NCDA is disbanding, and I think he'll continue to be kind of our main contact for the 4 counties. Like I say, Ryan and I have been to the last couple of NCDA meetings and worked with them to come up with these agreements to keep it going. So bottom line, we're good to go. We're just waiting for the final contracts and paperwork on the MnDOT side. Like you mentioned, we're going to have that contract for the capital with 3 buses in place next month, and then we can get those ordered and underway. So hopefully we'll see those buses later on next year. So far so good.
Sounds good. All right, any other board?
I just have one thing, Chair, Commissioners. Metrobus recently had a paratransit review conducted by the FTA. Right now, we're in the closing stages of that review. Currently, we have 60 days to respond to the FTA to make the recommended changes. Once the changes have been submitted to the FTA and everything has been finalized and we get the seal of approval from the FTA, we will report to you at that time a full report on the actual study that was done, or the review that was done by the FTA. Just want to give you guys an FYI, heads up. The process is a little different from my triannual, where the triannual is done every 3 years. This review was just random by the FTA. Every year the FTA would choose maybe 5 or 6 different transit systems and just say, hey, we want to come in and do a review on various departments. So in this case, we received a paratransit review from the FTA. Good. Process is about a 6-month process, 6 to 7 month process. So right now we're in the winding stages. So once everything is complete, right now Tom has been working with his team to make the recommended changes. Once we submit the changes to the FTA, they will review it, and once they give us the yes or no, and the report is sealed, and we'll come back and report everything to you on the findings and the changes that we made and how that impacts operations.
Sounds good.
Mr. Chairman.
Mhm.
Ryan, on that, in that report, I saw that report. If there's any deficiencies noted, you have 60 days to respond to them, and that's when they'll issue the final report then? With what
Well-
you report back to them?
Right,
Is that
right
how that
now the
works?
report has been, right now the report has been drafted, and then, we received the report, and the FTA outlined it about maybe 15 to 16 deficiencies or changes that we should make, like language changes, hours of operation changes, things of that nature. So right now, we're in that 60-day period. So our 60 days will be up January 29th, 2017. That'll be the 60th day. But Tom has been working with his team, and I believe we're almost done now, just finalizing everything. We probably submit that, maybe if not this week yet, maybe the first week of the year. We'll submit it to FDA, so we'll be well within our 60-day period. And then now, the FDA might take another 30 days just to review the changes, to review the recommended changes that we submitted to them. And once they might have additional follow-up questions, and might say, okay, yes, everything was good, case is closed, here's the final report, and seal of approval, you guys are good to go. So at that point in time, once we receive that seal of approval, in this case, then we'll come back and report to you, the full report, I should say. We'll give you guys the full report. Just similar to like how we had the audit today. That audit was done about 2 months ago. KDV came in, did the audit, and now today they had the preliminary report. In this case, the FTA would give us the final report once we submit all the recommended changes. So this is just the last part of that stage here, of this review with the FTA.
And no material major findings in the initial report, so that's good.
Right, just language, hours of operating. For example, one of the changes where we should operate on weekends because we open from 8 to 4 on the admin side. Well, we should do the same thing on the paratrans side. So just changes like that. And then as far as our language, how we word our subscriptions, Somali language, Spanish language, we should have different, we should reach out to our customers in English, Spanish, and Somali, for example. So just things like that, in addition to hourly changes, some operational, we should operate service. Like, for example, we have late night service, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, so we should have available dollar ride too for somebody who might request service at 1 o'clock in the morning because we have buses on the street at 1 o'clock in the morning. So just changes like that.
Okay.
Nothing that's going to impact operations because we just had a triannual just the year before that, and we had, we only had about 2 or 3 changes that we had to make. So this is just something, a different set of eyes looking at it, and they just recommend that we should do it based on best practices out there, based on best practices throughout the industry.
Good.
So,
All right, do nothing else? Motion?
Oh. Second.
Moved and seconded, that's really nice.
It was perfect.
That's right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned then at 4